Fingers by Edwina Longbottom. The salty breeze ruffled through the small town of Amalfi, Italy, where the azure waves embraced the rocky shore with their eternal patience. As dawn's gentle light brushed over the sandy beach, a local fisherman stumbled upon a gruesome discovery: a body without fingers, marred by the sea.
Pietro! His voice trembled as he called out to his companion, pointing to the lifeless form. "Look there! What kind of beast could leave a man like this?"
Detective Sofia Rossi arrived at the scene shortly after, her seasoned eyes scanning the landscape for clues amidst the thin crowd forming on the fringes of the shoreline.
"Keep everyone back. I don't want anything contaminated," Sofia ordered, donning her gloves as she approached the body. The man's hands, devoid of fingers, like stumps, spoke of an intent far more chilling than anything the salt-rich sea could muster on its own.
As the photographer captured the scene, Sofia examined the wound edges, clean, precise cuts, suggestive of deliberate, skilled removal.
"This was no accident," she muttered to herself, piecing the puzzle that had begun to unfold.
Hours later, back at the lab, the forensics team began the arduous task of uncovering the identity of the mystery man and the circumstances surrounding his demise.
"We've got a lot of work to do, folks," said Marco, the lead technician, as he documented each scrap of evidence processed from the crime scene.
With no identification on the body, the investigation turned towards uncovering dental records and hinting at possible motives: revenge, a message, or something far deeper. As Sofia pondered these, the day faded into the intrigue of nightfall, with only the pull of the truth driving them forward. The following morning, Detective Sofia Rossi returned to the windswept beach with a reinvigorated determination. The sun cast long shadows across the shore as she methodically retraced the path to where the body had been discovered.
"Let's make sure we haven't missed anything," Sofia directed her junior officer Marco as they scanned the area once more, paying special attention to the trail leading away from the water.
A short distance from where the fisherman had found the body, Sofia spotted something partially buried beneath a layer of damp sand, a glint of metal catching the early light. Bending down, she carefully unearthed a worn-out watch, the glass scratched, its face frozen at a specific time.
"Do you think that watch might be a clue, Detective?" Marco asked, glancing over her shoulder.
"Perhaps," Sofia replied, pondering its significance. "It might tell us when he entered the water or was brought to the shore."
Meanwhile, in the heart of the town, a team of officers began interviewing the locals, fishing for whispers and fragments of gossip that might unravel the mystery.
"Excuse me," Marco introduced himself to a group of elderly men gathered outside a cafe. "Did any of you notice anything unusual on the beach yesterday morning? Or perhaps someone you didn't recognize in the area?"
The men exchanged glances before one, leaning on his cane, finally spoke up.
"Aye, there was a boat I've never seen before, a sleek one, moving quietly at dawn's break. Might be something, might be nothing." His words piqued the officer's interest, providing a potential lead to pursue.
Back at the lab, Sofia's colleague prepared the watch for fingerprint analysis, hopeful it held secrets yet to be unveiled.
As the forensics team continued their meticulous work, Sofia knew that time was of the essence. Every second that ticked by was one less chance to unearth the truth behind the mysterious figure washed ashore. Sofia strode through the bustling marketplace, her senses on high alert. She noticed whispers following her path as she moved between stalls, searching for any out-of-place clue or an unfamiliar face in the familiar town.
Meanwhile, Marco was engrossed in the lab where forensic analysis was underway. "Detective, we have something," Marco called as Sofia entered.
"What is it, Marco?" Sofia asked, moving to his side.
"The watch. It was cleaned, but we managed to find microscopic remnants of a dark substance on it. We're running tests now, but preliminary results suggest it might be industrial oil," Marco revealed.
"A boat with an engine or machinery," Sofia thought aloud, recalling the elderly man's mention of a sleek boat.
Sofia decided they needed to question local maritime operators, fishermen, and anyone familiar with vessels that might frequent their coast.
Approaching a local dock, Marco spoke with an old seafarer repairing nets. "Excuse me, we need information about any unfamiliar boats or activity along the shore recently," he said. The seafarer paused, taking time to think. "Not many strangers around these parts, except there was a vessel fancy-looking with dark hull, not typical around here."
Armed with new leads, Sofia quickly called her team to investigate the docks and the marine records of recent entries and exits, suspecting the boat might be the key linking all clues together.
As night enveloped the town of Amalfi, Sofia returned home, her mind racing with possibilities and unanswered questions. Whatever had transpired on the sea was deeply shrouded in secrets. Before she allowed herself a moment's rest, she sent out a directive to liaise with Coast Guard units further along the coast. They needed to find that boat. Detective Sofia Rossi considered the information about the industrial oil found on the watch. If the oil is industrial, it could indicate that our victim had been on an oil rig or a large container ship, she mused. Perhaps the mysterious boat was a transport, or maybe our victim sought refuge on it somehow. She quickly devised a plan to find out more. We need to focus on any oil rigs or container ships that were near this coast around the time of the incident, Sofia instructed Marco. Contact maritime authorities and check all recent activity logs.
On it, Detective, Marco responded, immediately setting about gathering reports and contact information from the coastal authorities.
With the potential time frame provided by the frozen watch face, Sofia turned her attention towards surveillance possibilities. She tasked her junior officers to gather all available CCTV footage from the area, aligning with the early morning hours when the boat had been spotted.
Sofia knew they needed to act quickly. Coordinate with any nearby businesses or personal security systems that might have captured footage, she instructed another team member. Include traffic cameras along the roads leading to and from the docks. Alone with her thoughts for a moment, Sofia hoped these new leads would bear fruit. If the footage revealed the boat or its occupants, they could be one step closer to solving the mystery behind the mutilated victim. As the investigation progressed, Sofia also made plans to interview more individuals working in the harbor area, potentially uncovering any regular contacts with the seldom-seen vessel. She hoped that someone might be able to shine a light on its mysterious appearance. Reviewing the CCTV footage, Sofia watched intently as the mysterious boat came into view. The footage revealed the boat stopping briefly at the harbor, lingering for 5 minutes before moving on. It was a valuable insight, suggesting there had been some purpose to its visit. There might have been an exchange, communication, or even a transfer at that moment, Sofia speculated. We need to determine who or what the boat was in contact with during its brief stop.
Determined to track every possible lead, Sofia decided to take a different approach. She knew of a lighthouse situated along the rocky outcrop nearby, an area often overlooked due to its isolation.
With the possibility that the lighthouse might have witnessed something, Sofia made her way there. Though automatic, it was operated by a weather scientist positioned there for data collection and maintenance. Arriving at the lighthouse, Sofia knocked and was soon greeted by Dr. Vito, the resident weather scientist. "Detective Rossi," Sofia introduced herself. "I believe you might have observed something crucial for an ongoing investigation."
Dr. Vito nodded, inviting her inside. "I've noticed unusual activity lately," he shared. "There's been a lot of talk about that sleek boat passing by, often during unusual hours. I have some records of marine data and notes of ship movements from the nights I spend observing."
"May I see them?" Sofia asked, feeling a renewed sense of optimism. If the scientist's records contained specific information about the boat, it could provide exactly the breadcrumb trail they were seeking.
As Dr. Vito laid out his notes and marine maps, Sofia studied them closely, hoping to identify patterns or inconsistencies that could shine a light on the mysterious vessel and its purposes.
As Sofia pored over Dr. Vito's meticulous records, she noticed a startling pattern. Every Wednesday at exactly 11 p.m., this sleek vessel passes by the lighthouse, Sofia noted aloud, and it consistently returns around 6 a.m. the following morning.
"That's right," Dr. Vito affirmed. "I've been documenting ship movements for the past few months, and this boat's schedule is oddly regular, unlike the other vessels that pass irregularly."
Sofia now had a timeline to work with. Armed with this information, we can stake out the lighthouse or nearby areas to see where it goes during those hours, she determined. As she continued to scan the records, her eyes caught something significant at the bottom of one of Dr. Vito's detailed logs, a boat registration number. "Dr. Vito, this registration number could be pivotal," Sofia remarked with appreciation.
It was challenging to jot down, but I thought it might be important given how peculiar the boat seemed amid regular traffic, Dr. Vito explained as Sofia copied the number down.
With the registration number, we can trace ownership and perhaps find out who operates this vessel, Sofia said confidently. She knew it was a breakthrough in connecting the dots from the victim to the mysterious boat.
Sofia immediately contacted the Port Authority to run the registration number through their system, searching for any registered owner or recent changes associated with the vessel. Meanwhile, she planned to place officers at strategic points around the harbour and lighthouse come next Wednesday night.
With the boat's regular movements now mapped out and the registration number in hand, Sofia felt the investigation gaining momentum.
Receiving a report from the Port Authority, Sofia discovered that the mysterious vessel was registered to a reclusive American named Ethan Moore, whose reasons for being in Amalfi were unclear and not readily accessible in local records.
A reclusive individual operating in such secrecy, this adds a whole new dimension, Sofia considered. We need to learn more about Ethan Moore's presence and activities in the area. Determined to uncover the truth, Sofia decided they needed to approach the next Wednesday with a strategic plan in place to observe the boat's activities during its scheduled passage. We'll anchor a surveillance boat right along the sea lane where the vessel navigates, making sure it doesn't suspect our presence, Sofia explained to her team.
Marco quickly started organizing the equipment. We'll set up infrared and night vision high-resolution cameras to capture every detail, he confirmed, ensuring their observations wouldn't be limited by the cover of night.
Sofia coordinated with her team to establish a clear line of communication throughout the stakeout. She arranged for officers to monitor both land-based and maritime activities, ensuring no angle was left unchecked. As the evening of the stakeout approached, Sofia reviewed the plan with her team. Remember, this isn't just about observing the boat, but discovering its purpose and connections, she stressed, aware of the stakes involved. With everything set in motion, Sofia knew the upcoming surveillance could be the turning point in understanding how Ethan Moore was connected to the victim found on Amalfi's shores. As the stakeout night unfolded, Sofia and her team watched through their high-resolution equipment, eager to gather crucial information. Darkness cloaked their surveillance boat, leaving them nearly invisible to passing vessels.
The sleek boat is approaching right on schedule, Marco reported, equipped with night vision goggles.
Sofia focused her binoculars as the vessel slid through the water silently. They recorded every movement meticulously, hoping to capture significant interactions or communications that would answer their pressing questions. Suddenly, the sleek boat adjusted its course, veering dangerously close to their position. "They're trying to swamp us," Sofia realized, urging her team to brace for the impact as the vessel created waves meant to destabilize their boat.
Marco and the rest of the team acted swiftly, maintaining their position and ensuring the surveillance equipment stayed operational despite the rough waters.
Undeterred by this unexpected aggression, Sofia instructed her team to continue capturing footage. "This is intentional," she noted, "and it solidifies the need to understand their objectives and who we are dealing with."
Once the immediate threat passed and the vessel departed, Sofia and her team reviewed the gathered footage and data. They had successfully captured images of the vessel and its occupants, including glimpses of Ethan Moore.
With valuable evidence in hand, Sofia decided the next logical step was to confront Ethan Moore to uncover more about his intentions in Amalfi and his potential connection to the crime. Sofia arranged an appointment to interview Moore, understanding the need to approach the situation carefully, given his apparent willingness to intimidate and possibly avoid investigation.
Upon receiving Sofia's request for an interview, Ethan Moore appeared cooperative, a hint of intrigue in his acceptance. "I have nothing to hide, so I welcome the discussion," he conveyed, projecting an air of innocence.
Sofia recognized the potential for Moore's facade and prepared accordingly. "Given the circumstances, Mr. Moore, we must adhere to protocols," she explained upon meeting him. "You'll need to agree to the use of our standard AI lie detector during the interview." The AI tool, running on a phone, had become a crucial police asset, adept at analyzing microfacial movements to assess truthfulness. "It's just routine," Sofia assured, aware that this would push Moore toward honesty. During the interview, Moore attempted to maintain his composure, speaking with calculated innocence about his presence in Amalfi and dismissing any knowledge of suspicious behavior surrounding his vessel. As the AI began detecting inconsistencies, Sofia noticed subtle shifts in Moore's demeanor that indicated underlying tension. "Mr. Moore, according to our AI, there's more to your story than you're letting on," Sofia pressed, leaning on the technology's readings. "Can you explain why your reactions suggest otherwise?"
Moore's calm exterior faltered, his earlier confidence giving way to defensive gestures. "I'm being honest with you," he protested, yet the AI's feedback hinted at withheld truths.
Relying on the AI's insights, Sofia challenged him further. "Your vessel's activities align with the incidents we're investigating. Denying involvement won't change the evidence we have." Sofia's relentless probing, combined with the AI-driven insights, began to corner Moore into revealing more than he'd intended, hinting at connections he tried to conceal. Sofia knew pressing on these revelations brought them closer to unearthing the full scope of Ethan Moore's activities and their link to the mystery shrouding Amalfi's shores.
Under increasing pressure from the AI lie detector and Sofia's interrogation, Ethan Moore began to falter. "All right, I'm in discussions with Shell Oil," he admitted, attempting to steer the conversation. "It's all about taking ownership of a wind farm that's encroaching on an oil field."
"Mr. Moore," Sofia interjected, "our findings suggest there's more beneath the surface of your negotiations. The AI indicates that this isn't the entire truth."
Moore's facade cracked further, beads of sweat forming as Sofia continued her unyielding questioning.
"Why not reveal everything, especially if others are implicated?" Sofia pushed, observing his growing unease.
Subtly, Moore started to hint at deeper, more sinister involvement without explicitly confessing to specific crimes. His evasive answers now alluded to connections that could unravel darker secret dealings.
Realizing the potential danger of confronting a possibly dangerous individual, Sofia made a decisive move. "Mr. Moore, I need you to surrender your passport to ensure your availability as we continue this investigation," she stated firmly. Understanding the gravity of this revelation, Sofia remained on high alert. Moore's hesitant admissions pointed to a network of players potentially involved in clandestine activities around Amalfi and beyond. With Moore's passport secured, Sofia convened with her team to reassess their approach, ensuring safety was paramount as they proceeded with the investigation. She planned to leverage any emerging connections or allies Moore might have unintentionally disclosed. Sofia knew that each revelation brought them a step closer to the truth, and she was committed to uncovering the full extent of the undercurrents that Moore appeared caught up in. Sofia considered the implications of Moore's slip during the interrogation. He mentioned knowing the deceased, which means there's more to their relationship, Sofia thought, focusing on the new lead. If the deceased's brother lives nearby, he could be pivotal in uncovering the full network. Wasting no time, Sofia assigned a team to locate and interview the deceased's brother. "We need to understand his connections and find out if he's aware of any dealings his brother was involved in," she instructed her officers. Simultaneously, Sofia knew that tracking Ethan Moore discreetly was crucial to piecing together additional information without alerting him. "We'll place a clandestine trace on Moore," Sofia directed, arranging for a discreet tracking device to be placed on him. Furthermore, Sofia decided to escalate her approach by embedding an undercover detective who would monitor Moore's activities while maintaining a cover. "Our priority is to observe and gather without causing suspicion," she reminded the team. The dual approach of tracking Moore through technology and undercover observation would provide a comprehensive understanding of his interactions and movements. Sofia anticipated that uncovering the link between Moore and the deceased's brother could reveal a hidden network or conspiracy, potentially connecting to the wider mystery of the gruesome beach discovery. As the investigation deepened, Sofia emphasized the need for caution and thoroughness among her team. She knew the answers lay in connecting these emerging threads without tipping off the players involved in this complex web of intrigues. With each step carefully orchestrated, Sofia felt confident they were edging ever closer to exposing the truth beneath the calm surface of Amalfi's shores. Engaging with the deceased's brother, Sofia listened as he shared a critical piece of information. My brother owed Moore a substantial sum, he confided, fear evident in his voice. He was terrified, convinced he'd meet a grisly end if the debt wasn't settled within the week. Sofia absorbed this revelation, understanding now that financial desperation and looming threats might have driven the deceased into dangerous situations. This clue provided a tangible motive linking Moore to the victim's fate. Meanwhile, Sofia reviewed the insights from the clandestine surveillance of Ethan Moore. Her team had captured footage of Moore meeting with a Shell Oil executive, passing over a large brown paper bag. This exchange could indicate bribery or some form of illicit deal, Sofia surmised, contemplating the implications of potential corporate wrongdoing entangling Moore and this executive. Realizing the need to tread carefully, Sofia began mapping out her next moves. If Moore has unexpected allies within Shell Oil, we must proceed with caution and strategy, she advised her team. We need to gather ironclad evidence before confronting corporate entities. To bolster the investigation, Sofia decided to enhance the undercover operations around Moore and his contacts, digging deeper into each interaction for additional evidence. We'll need to corroborate this with financial records and identify any patterns of payouts or questionable transactions, she noted, directing her team to liaise with financial analysts. Sofia knew that uncovering this complex network required not only persistence, but acute awareness of the high-stakes game she was now playing against both Moore and potentially powerful corporate interests. With each move revealing further connections and possibilities, Sofia remained undeterred, committed to unveiling the truth, no matter how deeply entrenched in Amalfi's silhouetted scenery it lay. Sofia, delving into the financial background of the deceased, uncovered a significant lead, a bank transaction involving a large deposit made just days before the murder. This sum could have been intended as repayment to Moore, or perhaps even as a payoff directed towards the Shell executive, she theorized, noting the transaction's curious timing. Determined to solidify the connection, Sofia meticulously rated transactions, looking for patterns associated with payoffs or coercion, carefully piecing together the financial links. Utilizing the newfound link between the deceased and corporate entanglements, Sofia felt the urgency to bring the Shell Oil executive into the investigative fold. With sufficient cause, she authorized the arrest of the executive on suspicion of corruption. This isn't just about Ethan Moore anymore. There's a corporate veil to pierce here, Sofia instructed her team, knowing this arrest would send ripples through high echelons. As the executive sat across from her in the interrogation room, Sofia began her questioning with calm precision. Your interactions with Ethan Moore suggest transactions that cross ethical boundaries, she stated, introducing the allegations deftly.
The executive shifted uncomfortably, clearly unprepared for such direct confrontation. All my dealings have been above board, he protested weakly, a veneer of hasty professionalism barely masking his nerves.
Sofia pushed forward, presenting bank records and the surveillance footage. Evidence suggests otherwise, she countered, highlighting the physical exchange with a large brown paper bag as damning testimony. Recognizing the executive's unease and the unfolding corporate drama, Sofia considered leveraging any admissions or knowledge he might reveal to further untangle the network, bringing them closer to solving the crime and perhaps preventing more. With patience and strategy, Sofia methodically pursued the truth, determined to uncover who behind these dealings held the strings and ultimately led to the tragic end by Amalfi's shores.
Under the pressure of Sofia's interrogation, the Shell executive finally confessed. That money, it was meant for me, he admitted, his voice tense with resignation. Ethan Moore instructed me that any sticky fingers within this deal would face dire consequences.
Sofia felt a sense of validation as the confession tied Moore directly to both the financial maneuverings and the implicit threats surrounding the deceased, reinforcing Moore's potential motive. But the executive's admission didn't stop there. He dropped a hint of deeper entanglements, suggesting that their dealings were about more than mere monetary theft. There were plans to sway a board decision, he divulged, granting future research rights at the oil field to Moore. Realizing the broader scope of potential corporate corruption, Sofia understood this revelation could implicate higher-ups and further entangle Moore in a clearer narrative of criminal conspiracy. Armed with this insight, Sofia planned to expand the investigation, potentially involving regulatory bodies and forensic accountants, to dive deeper into Shell's internal machinations and lay bare its corporate dealings. Sofia instructed her team to secure all related communications, exploring avenues for evidence of Moore's influence tactics and corrupt practices, ensuring no loose thread was overlooked. "We need to act meticulously," Sofia counseled her team, knowing that moving forward required strategic maneuvers without drawing premature attention that might jeopardize their case. For every lead uncovered, Sofia anticipated challenging the layers of corporate complicity, persistently unraveling the ties between greedy ambitions and tragic ends. As new layers of the conspiracy emerged, she remained unwavering in her commitment to justice, determined to bring closure to those impacted by the shadows over Amalfi and hold accountable those responsible for casting them.
As Detective Sofia Rossi continued peeling back the layers of corporate intrigue and financial improprieties, she realized that the initial discovery on Amalfi's shores had inadvertently cast a net over a vast and intricate conspiracy.
The revelations had connected the dots between stolen funds, the coercions of Ethan Moore, and the ambitions of corporate heavyweights within Shell Oil, each thread intertwining through complex maneuvers and shadowy deals. Despite making significant strides, Sofia felt the weight of what lay ahead. The sheer breadth of the conspiracy was daunting, with legal frameworks and corporate shields potentially stalling their progress. "We need allies and leverage," Sofia considered, knowing that building alliances with whistleblower protections, regulatory bodies, and ethical board members could be the key to breaking through corporate resistances. Yet Sofia was also aware of the potential resistance from powerful figures keen on preserving their standings, their networks extending well beyond her immediate reach. As she stared out over the horizon where the azure waves of Amalfi embraced its rocky shores, Sofia vowed to remain vigilant and unwavering, ensuring no stone remained unturned in the pursuit of truth and justice. She knew the path was fraught with complexities and challenges, but somewhere amid the tides of change and revelation was the potential for sweeping reform and redemption. Though many questions lingered unanswered and many paths yet unexplored, Sofia felt emboldened by the support of her team and the resolve of her conviction. With the gentle evening breeze ruffling through the town of Amalfi, Detective Sofia Rossi turned back to her investigative notes, ready to face whatever lay ahead, a story continuing amidst the shadows and sunlight of an ever-unfurling truth.
The end. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.